Fix the camera. Hey everybody, welcome back to JT channel and welcome to another, oh, I have a kitten. You want to see a kitten? Here he is. Here he is. Kitten. Oh god. And welcome to, I'm going to start another wrestling complaining video. I'm just kidding. I'm not complaining, but everybody else is. I was going to make this video on Tuesday, and as a matter of fact, I did make this video on Tuesday, but I didn't like how it came out. So I trashed it and thought I'll do it another day. And then something happened last night on Dynamite that I have to talk about as well. So, hooray! So, we're just going to have a discussion here about things that have made the internet wrestling community mad. That's right. Like the title video says, wrestling fans are angry. Again. Kitten. Ah, claws. So, I'm going to start, well actually, let me backtrack here. I want to start this whole video by mentioning Liv Morgan, because what happened on Raw was an accident, and it sucks because first reporting, it was like 12 to 16 weeks, but now they're talking up to 6 months. It was just a trip. She got tripped, and she went to catch herself, and something happened with her arm, and I do not know the extent of the injury, but it sucks. Liv Morgan was involved in multiple feuds. She was on Raw a couple times a week. Like multiple times in one show sometimes, and she was about to go onto a tangent, with Nikki Bella, animals everywhere, and it just sucks. It sucks. I just hope that she gets well soon, sooner than 6 months, because that's a long time without one of the most consistent and one of the most beloved superstars on the whole roster. I was about to say in the women's roster, but Liv was great, and for everybody saying dumb shit, just shut up, okay? Injuries can happen at any time. I told a story fairly recently about how I got hurt when I was training. Sorry, I'm trying to calm down the chaos. I didn't know making a video in the evening was going to be like this. But in the video, Breaking News Pro Wrestling is Dangerous, I told the story where I took a clothesline, just a clothesline, and I almost knocked myself unconscious because I decided to take too hard of a bump. That was my fault, but that's what I mean. Just a clothesline almost knocked me unconscious. So don't be an asshole, and hope Liv Morgan gets well soon. It's not like she's ever going to see this video. But on Raw, we had the return of Bill Goldberg. We had Jey Uso qualify for the semifinals, I think it is, for the King of the Ring, and then last night on Dynamite, Mercedes Moné won another belt, which means the IWC be angry, brah. So I just wanted to kind of give my thoughts on it. First off, like I said a minute ago about Liv Morgan stuff, just shut up. Like, why are you here? Why do you watch wrestling? Why do you try to consume an entertainment product if you're just going to be mad every time something happens that you don't like? What happened on Raw, right? We knew Bill Goldberg was coming back to face Gunther. I think people are mad because he was limping to the ring and they think it's going to be the absolute worst -5.5 star match they've ever seen. You don't know that. You don't know it's going to be that bad. And someone's going to jump in these comments and go, yes I do. I know for a fact it's going to be. Okay, well since you're a time traveler, can I have next week's lotto numbers? Please and thank you. Leave them in the comments below. You don't know until it happens. Goldberg has plenty of time to get conditioned. And do we need more than 3 or 4 minutes from these guys? I personally would love a good 10-minute just big meaty men slapping meat match, but we're not going to get that. Goldberg doesn't need to wrestle for 10 minutes. Him and Gunther can have a 3 to 5 minute match where they hit less than 10 moves that you can name. They can hit multiple versions of the same move, but do we need more than power bombs, drop kicks, sleeper holds, spears, and jackhammers, and chops? Other than those 5 or 6 things I just named, that's all we really need. We don't need anything else. Just beat the hell out of each other for 3 or 4 minutes. Gunther either pins Goldberg or puts him to sleep, and then he can come out on Raw the following Monday and go, I retired Goldberg. And maybe he could have a shirt that says Gunther retired Goldberg. That's all we need. You guys are acting like they're going to have a 25-minute extra special super main event that Goldberg's going to win. Goldberg isn't going to win, and it's not going to be 25 minutes long. Relax. Just deal with Goldberg for a few weeks. It's Bill Goldberg. He got a pretty decent pop on Raw. People are clearly excited to see him. I'm always excited for a nostalgia pop. Am I the biggest Goldberg fan in the world nowadays? No. I never was the biggest Goldberg fan. Now, I'm sure when I was a nothing but a fetus. I just cheered him because he was the good guy. But when you grow up and you look back on those things, sure, his WCW run was really, really good, but I don't remember it like some people. I'm not like, man, remember that? I don't talk about it all the time or anything. And his WWE run was mostly trash. So I am fine with Goldberg. I'm happy he's back. I'm happy he's getting his retirement. But I'm not all up in arms that it's against Gunther for the world title. I don't think it needs to be for the world title. Goldberg didn't mention the belt. Like, the belt was never a part of that first promo off. So if it was going to be for the title, I think they could have waited to add it until later if they were going to do it, because I don't see Goldberg winning. Now, I will caveat all of this. Some people are probably already yelling at me, but if you haven't yelled at me yet, you're just hearing me out. And we'll caveat all this with saying that apparently his merch is like one last run, not one last match. So I don't think they're going to give him the belt. I think they're just teasing the idea. Goldberg is going to cut promo saying, I'm going to be the world champ. But he won't, and he'll just retire, and we'll all move on with our lives. Gunther will go on to do something else. Maybe Gunther immediately goes into a feud with Seth Rollins or something. So that's the first thing that people are mad about, is that Goldberg's back and wrestling Gunther. It'll be fine. Even if Goldberg can't go, like if he's struggling in that match, Gunther can carry Goldberg. I promise you. The second thing everyone got mad at, something I'll never get mad at, yeet, is Jey Uso winning the main event. Once again, it was pretty obvious once Adam Pearce added him in. I did think there was an argument for Bronson Reed. Sorry, but only if there were shenanigans during that match. You don't want shenanigans in a Cody Rhodes match right now. Not right now. Not unless you're going to go somewhere with it. Like, that's why if Bronson Reed was in it, at least they could use the Seth Rollins group shenanigans and Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. I loved the main event on Raw. I loved every bit of it. I loved how Braun Breaker got involved. Then Penta finally showed back up. Like, hey, you took me out too. Then LA Knight comes back. This is exactly how it should be. And I said this on social media. Seth Rollins' group should be taking people out on every show. They shouldn't give a shit. They should just be like, we're taking over WWE. And then those people should get their revenge. LA Knight getting his revenge constantly. Penta finally getting his revenge. And then Jey Uso hitting a bunch of... My child also has thoughts on this. Hitting multiple splashes and beating Bronson Reed. It was great. It made perfect sense. Plus, I am so sorry you guys had to hear that. We got that orange kitten, and he's so skittish. Our other kitten, who's only like 8 months old, kind of bullies him sometimes. And I can't believe they did that right in my lap in the middle of recording. God. Oh, this channel is going to just explode one day. So, what I was getting at was that normally they talk about championship rematches. That's what Gunther basically got. He got a rematch for the world title. So, Jey Uso, you would think, would also get a rematch. But instead of just handing Jey Uso a rematch, which would have pissed you all off anyway, he had to earn it by winning the King of the Ring matchup. Well, not King of the Ring matchup, the quarterfinals, first round, whatever you want to say. So, they did that, and people are mad because Jey Uso won. Of course Jey Uso's going to win. But do you really think that injured Jey Uso is going to beat Cody Rhodes? Even if Jey Uso wasn't selling an injury right now, he's not going to beat Cody Rhodes. Again, everyone's mad at the moment. Everyone's like, oh, Jey Uso sucks and he yeets and he does 4 moves and blah, blah. John Cena did 6 moves and we all thought he was the greatest wrestler on the planet. Everyone gets so mad about Jey Uso winning that they're not thinking any further ahead. Like, in the original version of this video, I asked if the people that think these kinds of things took an IQ test, and it came back negative, because y'all are sounding really dumb. Sorry. I try not to be too much of an asshole, but you sound stupid. Yes, Jey Uso won that match. Of course he did. It made all the stories around it made perfect sense. But do you really think that next week on Raw, Jey Uso is going to beat Cody Rhodes in the semifinals of the King of the Ring? I wouldn't be surprised if the King of the Ring finals are Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. That way they can have like a friendly one-on-one, quote-unquote, before Randy eventually just goes on a proper feud with Cody. I don't mind it being Sami Zayn, but I just think it's going to be Cody and Randy. Cody is going to win the King of the Ring. That's how he's going to challenge John Cena at SummerSlam. Jey Uso is probably going to get back together with Jimmy. Again, another reason you all sound stupid is because instead of like reading reports, and I understand if you don't want to read the dirt sheets, if you just want to live in the world of wrestling. I get that. But if you're going to do that, then you look ridiculous to the rest of us who know that it's been rumored fairly recently, especially, that the Usos are going to get back together. They're likely going to start slowing down Jey Uso's singles push. And you can feel about that how you want, but you can't just keep getting mad. WWE almost always has a plan. The plan right now seems to be let Jey Uso get close, have him come back down, and most likely go help Jimmy with something and get the Usos back together. Maybe get back to Usos versus the New Day, now that the New Day are proper big-time heels. There's no reason to get that up in arms about it. I just like the stuff with Goldberg, Jey Uso's not going to win next week. Cody's going to beat Jey Uso, and then Cody's going to go face John Cena, and he'll probably win his title back at SummerSlam. I'm predicting way too far out. But that was what happened on Raw. Everybody got mad that Goldberg's back. Everybody got mad that Jey Uso won the main event. Calm down. What happened? My favorite thing happened on AEW Dynamite last night. Grand Slam Mexico, Arena Mexico. Big, huge show for America. Because I don't think an American promotion's ever run Arena Mexico. I think that's like the whole thing is that AEW got to run it. And yes, we can argue until the absolute fucking cows all come home. All of them. Every single cow comes home and never leaves again about WWE buying AAA and AEW working with CMLL. I don't fucking care. I'm just excited that all these things are happening. I know it seems like I care, but I really don't. I'm just excited that all these promotions keep doing this. It's my favorite thing about wrestling in 2025. But what happened that made everybody mad is that Mercedes Moné won another belt. Again, what did you expect? Her whole gimmick right now is I am the best women's wrestler that has ever existed ever, and I'm going to be the belt collector, and I'm going to walk around with all these belts on my shoulders, and no one can do anything about it. Do you guys not remember when Kenny Omega was the belt collector back in, I think that was 2021? He won all those belts, and he kept winning those belts. Belt after belt after belt, although I do think Mercedes Moné is either at as many as he had, or he might have more. But what happened? Eventually, you start losing those belts. You build this belt collector up so that they think that high of themselves, and then they lose a belt, and they lose a little bit of confidence. They're like, oh, I lost a belt. You know what, that's just one. I still got like 5 more. Then they lose another one, and then they lose another one. And that's just how it goes. That's what happened with Kenny Omega. I think it was Christian Cage. Oh, why'd I space out his name? I think on the debut episode of Rampage, way back when Rampage first started, it was Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega for the TNA title, and Christian Cage beat Kenny Omega on Rampage. It shocked everybody. Everyone's like, oh my god. But that was the start of the downfall of that belt collector. The same thing is going to happen to Mercedes Moné. And then I was just watching Simon Miller a little bit ago, and he made a good point. People on the internet going, well, Mercedes Moné has creative control, so that's why she's winning all these belts. She's demanding it. Mercedes Moné does not work for CMLL. Okay? And I don't think Tony Khan, and I know there's absolute, just complete psychopath morons that believe this, but I do not believe Tony Khan, like, bought the title or paid off CMLL or held a gun to the owner of CMLL's head. I think the owner of CMLL, whoever that is, I'm seeing a lot of letters. And I don't know who it is. I didn't take time to look it up. Probably had a conversation with Tony Khan, and they agreed that while Mercedes has all this attention, and that's what she gets from all of you, lovers, haters, the absolute psychopath morons. She's getting attention. You complaining about her is getting her more attention. They probably decided, hey, let's give her this belt too. Then she'll have all these belts, and she can run around with the CMLL title as well. So, no, I wasn't mad that she won that belt. First of all, and I've said this many times, hopefully I've said it on the channel, I freaking love Mercedes Moné. I loved her when she was Sasha Banks. I was completely on her and Naomi's side when they walked out of WWE. That's another conversation. I almost went on a tangent, but that's another conversation for another day. And I think she's one of the best women's wrestlers in the world today. If you don't think that, that's because you're biased against her. And I can prove it. I've got friends, like good friends, that hate Mercedes, and when I ask them why, they call her a crybaby, or a whiner, or the next Hulk Hogan. They're not actually paying attention to her in-ring ability. She is an incredible in-ring performer. Did she need to be the next belt collector? Again, argue till the cows come home. Stop taking my cows. But she is. That is her gimmick right now. Belt collector. I'm better than everybody. She's like 6 or 7 belts Monet, whatever the hell. And that's just what it is. So of course she beat Zeuxis. But again, she's going to start losing belts. And personally, if you want my opinion, I think the first belt she's going to lose is the All Elite Wrestling Women's Championship. Women's World Title to Toni Storm. Timeless Toni Storm. Excuse me. I think that's what we're building to. I think Mercedes is winning all these belts and is building this beast of a story of a champions. And she's going to walk in to All In with all these belts. She's probably going to have the most elaborate, most expensive entrance at All In. And Toni will have her kind of basic black and white. It'll be a little cool. And then she's going to lose the AEW Women's World Title. And that is going to be the start of her downfall. It is going to be great from the perspective of someone who just likes pro wrestling, who likes the entertainment, the stories. It's another thing that all television does. Someone builds their character up and you just hate them. You want them to fight and lose, and they just never do. They never do. Or it's a crime drama and it's like a 4-part episode. You don't know it's a 4-part episode. You're watching it for the first time, and the bad guy gets away. And the next episode, the bad guy gets away. And you're like, oh my god, can they just catch this guy? Law and Order used to do this. I know I'm going on a tangent. Law and Order would do this thing where someone would get away, and you wouldn't see that antagonist again for multiple episodes, or even for multiple seasons. And then they would pop up out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, holy shit, get him now. So that's what Mercedes Moné is doing. And she's doing such a good job of it that people online are just so angry. They're doing they're bubbling under the surface. Their whole faces are turning red. They're balling up their fists. What you can't deny, and what a lot of you will deny, but what you really can't, is that she's really good at all of this. She's a great wrestler. She's a great heel. And she's getting, again, attention from you. That is what you're doing. You going online and saying Mercedes Moné is the worst wrestler ever means that you're saying her name. She's not Joe Hendry, but you are talking about her. And that's all she needs. That's all the pro wrestler needs. Like Joe Hendry, for example, or Danhausen, or Simon Miller. I'm gonna keep bringing up Simon Miller. His whole goal in 2025 is to get on a major American pro wrestling show. So let's make that happen. Or Luigi Italiano. What was that guy's? Luigi the pizza guy. You'll know who I'm talking about if you watched AEW for 30 seconds last year, 2 years ago. He was just a guy with a mustache. He was Italian. He had an apron on, and he spun pizzas around. And he got over super quick just by word of mouth. So, anyway, that's the other thing everyone's mad about. I went on a bigger tangent with that because I'm just tired of people shit-talking Mercedes Moné. She's just a person. She's just a wrestler. Even if she has creative control in her contract, then that just means she got the AEW Women's World Title. Or, wait. She's the TBS champion. Excuse me. Wow. I'm so sorry. I just realized I fucked that up. She is the TBS champion, while Timeless Toni Storm is the women's champion. So if you jumped in my comments and yelled at me for calling her the women's world champion, I'm so sorry. I caught myself. But I digress. That's the title she's going to lose first. And again, she has creative control in All Elite Wrestling, right? She has creative control. Let's just say she does. We know it all for a fact. I'm honestly not sure because I don't look at wrestlers' contracts. Who the fuck? I have a life. I have a child on the way, pets to take care of, a job. I don't worry about wrestlers' contracts unless it was mine. But anyway, if we know for a fact she has creative control, then the only company, like I said with CMLL, the only company she has creative control in is AEW. No matter what you say about, oh, well, she's big leaguing. You can't big league in another company. If you go wrestle for another company and they're like, no, you don't win our belt, screw you, then guess what? No, you don't win their belt, screw you. So, again, when it comes to what happened on Raw, when it comes to what happened on Dynamite last night, you all just sound ridiculous. There's no reason to get mad about it. If you don't like it, that's totally fine. I don't like certain things sometimes, and I don't get mad. Well, excuse me. There's conversations to be had about certain things about pro wrestling you can get mad about, but this is just silly, okay? It's just storylines. It's just entertainment. It's just pro wrestling, the most important of the least important things. just enjoy it. Enjoy the fact that someday Mercedes is going to fall. Enjoy Goldberg's last couple of weeks before he likely retires forever. And enjoy Jey Uso. Like I said, he's not going to beat Cody Rhodes. So that's it. That's me going on a tangent about people being angry again. I just wish the pro wrestling community would calm down a little bit, especially on the internet. I don't live online like these people do. I do read these things. I'm just curious. I like to see people's reactions. I prefer the positive or the more laid back reactions. You don't have to love it. Just don't be angry. Just be a little less angry. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Like I said, yell at me about all this. Tell me I'm wrong. I love all of it. And we'll see how it builds up to all these shows. All In, Saturday Night's Main Event. What is it? Saudi Arabia show. Yada, yada, yada. And again, I cannot say this enough. I hope that Liv Morgan gets well soon. So until next time, this is JT Channel. I am JT. Again, as I like to say, at least once a week we do these videos. Everyone, including me, needs to calm down about pro wrestling. I will see you in the next one.